Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Muzzlewood here. In this video today I'm going to show you my personal settings that I use for OBS and Movie Studio for uploading to YouTube. Let's try and keep this quick. We'll start with OBS. So OBS settings. What I'm going to do here, guys, is just open up my settings and run you through them really quick. I won't explain too much. I'll just let you know what I've got, and if you want to try and plug them in, they might work for you. So we'll open up the settings here and I'll run through all of them and just quickly tell you what I haven't touched. General is the same. Streaming I have not touched. I have not got the bandwidth to stream at all. Output, I have changed some stuff in here, not in the streaming tab, in the recording tab. Obviously they're grayed out because I'm recording now, so I can't change anything. But yes, so type is standard. Recording path is where I would like them to go. I'm recording MP4s with 2 tracks of audio. So one is game sound and 2 is the microphone. I'm encoding to H.264 and I'm going at full HD. These settings in this panel here are mostly the ones off the top rated Googles when you Google OBS settings for YouTube. So, but I did have a play, but I did kind of end up back there. It's up to you to kind of decide. So we've got a bitrate of 1000. Use custom buffer sizes on. 0 on the next 2 options, and got a 20 in there for CRF. Ultra fast for CPU usage presets. Profile is high. I think that goes with the YouTube MP4 encoding as well, as recommended by them. And in the very bottom value, we've got CRF equals 20, so that's the constant bit rate of 20. Now this might be a bit high for you, but I just found I wanted the best quality before I started editing. So you can play with this setting of 20, change it here and here, and do some test recordings. That's all I can say. Test record. You want nice smooth motion through, no compression through your motion. Once you're happy with that and your recording settings are great, you can start moving on to Movie Studio. But we'll just go onto the audio department. Nothing much has changed here, just you should have your devices marked in there. So this is my device 1 and 2. So that's the channels it's going into. Video, it's just make sure it's set to 30 frames a second, or if you're whichever frame rate you need to record to. We're running at HD there. Hotkeys, I've just only got one hotkey for start and stop recording, and I have just changed my color format in here to RGB because I noticed it was washed out compared to my actual gameplay. So that's the OBS setting, guys. Let's move on to Movie Studio Platinum. So Movie Studio Platinum, I am running version 13. So this is what we're looking at right now. I've just got my first Rainbow Siege encounter here as a test to show you my settings. So we'll just, once you've done your editing, we'll save it to hard drive to start with, if you don't know that already. Skip this and go straight to advanced options. Now I've made a favorite, but I use the main concept Internet HD 180p. That's what I started with. I found, and I'm using the main concept one, not the Sony Vegas, as I found it through whatever settings I gave it through an error when I was uploading to YouTube. When I used the main concept one, it uploaded without YouTube throwing me any errors. So start with Internet HD 1080p, but I will show you my settings, so you can just change that preset to this maybe. So this is where I've ended up. Obviously 1080p, so 1920 by 1080. Profile is set to high as recommended by YouTube, and this is your frames per second. So I'm recording at 30 right now, so I'm going to upload at 30. Allow source to be to adjust the frame rate is on, so that shouldn't matter because you're recording at 30, so it should set it to 30 if it is to change it. Non-progressive scan, it's set to none. And we've got pixel aspect ratio of 1, so that's not going to change any aspects. It's going to be what you recorded. Number of reference frames is 2. I have no idea what that is. That's probably the default, so I left it. And now we've come down to the variable bit rate. So YouTube gives a opinion of what it would like. 1080p asks for 8 megabits per second. So that's 8 with 6 zeros after it. So I've set my average to that, and for my maximum I've set that probably quite high, just in case I get a game with a lot of motion. I want it to just cruise through that motion, no worries, and not get any compression artifacts. I also do a 2-pass on it just because it kind of rounds it off quite well. If you don't want to wait, just knock that off and you might get slightly less quality video, but it's not going to take as long to run through. Number of slices is 4. I did a bit of research on this for you. It's kind of to do with Blu-ray and how it cuts up the image. So it'll cut the image up into 4 and work on those sections separately. So you might have some frames that have a lot of motion blur, or sorry, some sections of the frame that have a lot of motion blur, and some that don't. So it will work on those a bit better. Encoding mode. So I've got a NVIDIA card, so I've got a CUDA to go with, depending on your card. You can choose any of these. So I've got that turned on. And those are the settings which give me the quality that I like. Please, once again, do tests. I recommend just making a minute's worth of video of you running around in a game. Make sure there's a lot of motion, maybe going in at darks, going in out of lights. Just do a minute of video and just run some compression tests on it until you find something you like. Then we move on to audio. I've got my audio set to 192 just because I seem to get hung up on audio, so I've bumped it up. I've seen a lot of people just have it at 160 or 128, so that's up to you. My aim is to have good audio. It hopefully helps out the videos. So that is the settings. Type them in. They might work for you. If not, have a play, and obviously use your bitrate settings compared to the YouTube page. I might put a link in the description. So I think from memory it's 5 megabits per second for 720p. That's a kind of example of how these settings might change. So they're my settings, guys. Hopefully they work for you. If they don't, just try some more tests. All I can do is say make a test recording and get your settings right, because once they're right, that's it. That's what works for you. So but yes, if I skipped over anything too quickly for you, please feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. I love the activity on my channel and always happy to help. And yeah, if you like the video that much, please hit that like button. And if you want to see another video on this or a bit more of a description of my settings, feel free to subscribe, and maybe I'll come up with another settings video. Alright guys, I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!